What is going on, good people? NFL picks. Gonna bring the whole crew out here. DJ, Casey,
But
over to the
but
side.
Liz Ive is okay. Liz Ive is okay, but the flippity dippity,
Lit, lit,
you didn't think I
lit.
was going to call you out. You didn't.
Yeah, Liz Ive is completely fine. The flippity dippity is uncalled for, insubordinate, and churlish. But anyway, uh, NFL Week 6 predictions. The preview coming up right now. We're gonna talk a little bit about last week, what we thought, where my phone went, what we thought, how we thought things went. Um, two of us can have a victory Tuesday. The others, well, y'all just gonna have to cry a little bit. Y'all just gonna have to cry. But DJ's here, Casey's here, Adam's here, and Justin's here. The whole crew's here tonight for the preview show for Week 6. We'll talk a little bit about last week, and then we'll jump into Week 6, of course. If you are listening, wherever you may be listening, be sure to go to the Facebook page if you want to see the videos live. You want to watch us, see what we look like. You're like, I heard these guys' voices before, but I ain't got a clue what they look like. I mean, we can help you out a little bit and, get our faces out there for you on the Facebook page. Uh, Facebook.com/ICW podcast. Stuff is falling off the wall behind me. I'll fix it eventually. I'll
Where's
fix
the
it.
frog at?
Where's the frog? The
So
frog is like all the
so
way to the
excited
side.
you're dropping shit already.
But if you want to, like us on Facebook, facebook.com/ICW podcast. The YouTube channel, videos also posted there as well. Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. I think I covered all the bases. I think that's it. I think that was all of them. But anyway, first off, Week 5, pretty crazy week. I felt like. I mean, it was a very crazy week. Of course, the Colts and the Browns went at it. The Chiefs had to face the Raiders, and the Ravens had to face the Cincinnati Bengals. Like we said, two of us can celebrate our said victories. That would be Adam and I. And the other two, we just gonna have to just kick them out the stream tonight. But anyway, uh, but let's start with Adam and Casey. Let you guys kind of battle it out since you guys had, your teams battled it out, but the Browns came up on the high end of that one on this occasion, Casey. On this occasion, maybe later on. In y'all waiting for the playoffs. Y'all just waiting. That's what it is. Y'all just waiting for the playoff matchup. When the playoff matchup come up, then that's when that's if the Colts even make the playoffs. The way the Titans looking. I'm just saying. The Titans looking good. Them Titans looking good now. Them Titans looking good.
Apparently, COVID makes you a Super Saiyan.
Right. Right. Like the Titans look better than I remember we've talked about it the last couple of weeks and we're like we like the AFC South, but we're like, are any of these teams blowing us away yet? And the Titans are like, hey, we just had COVID. It's fine, guys. We're good. We're a good team. I promise. But we'll talk a little bit more about them in a little bit. But as far as the Browns and the Colts game, I watched a little bit of it. I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but I did watch a little bit of it, and it was a very close game. I feel like it felt like to me that the Browns offense is really starting to click now. They're really starting to get themselves going a little bit more. And it seems like the Colts to me are like an interesting team. They're not like great anywhere. They're like decent everywhere, but they're not great anywhere to me. For some reason, this is just me. In case you can chime in, I don't really trust Phillip Rivers that much. Phillip Rivers, he's a good quarterback, but I don't like. This seems like almost like a short rental to go to the next level, which I don't think Phillip Rivers is going to take you to that point. But give me some insight, Casey. You watch him every week, so I mean you know more than me. I'm just watching from the side here.
I mean, I actually didn't get to watch the game because I was at work. But I get a Sunday off this week, so I get to watch all of the games.
So you get a Sunday off during the Colts bye week? No, I'm kidding. Wouldn't that be ironic though?
I would have been so mad. But or get every week off, or get every week off during the playoffs, and your team doesn't make the playoffs. But I don't know if I don't trust Phillip Rivers. I just, like I've said this whole time since the beginning of the season, I feel like we're still not sure what Phillip Rivers we're getting. Like, I feel like he shows some of the good aspects of the Phillip Rivers that we want, but I don't know.
I
And
mean, how far has Philip Rivers really went? That's the real question.
that
Like
is,
Philip Rivers is like, and I don't want to say a placeholder because I think he's better than a placeholder. But like Philip Rivers is almost like he's like I mean a glorified veteran placeholder. He's a good quarterback, but like he's never been able to get over the hump. And I don't know if the Colts is the team that's going to take him over that threshold.
well, but I also feel like he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league that just hasn't had luck, and not Andrew Luck. I feel like there's just some players that, like, for whatever reason, they're really good players. They're really good at their position. They just never get to where they probably should, whether it's the team that they're on, the management, whatever, coaching, whatever. Um, there's been a lot of them. Calvin Johnson is one of them that I can think of that was really good, but didn't really get to go anywhere. It didn't feel like, and I feel like Philip Rivers is kind of the same way. Now I wouldn't say I wouldn't say he's a Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning or anything like that, but he's definitely one of the good quarterbacks in recent years. And since he's been in the league. There's been a lot worse and a lot more kind of mediocre. And I think it's just been luck with him, really, just not being on that right team, not having the right coaching, whatever it was. And again, like you said, I don't necessarily think the Colts are going to be that change for him, but I mean, it's a shot.
Well, and I agree with that too because what Philip Rivers is a weird situation, right? Like he started in San Diego, with the Chargers. They've had a host of receivers and running backs and all kinds of things. But I guess you can say they kind of played in a tough division too. So that's kind of maybe been one of his biggest issues is that he just kind of got stacked up against a tough division, and was like like slightly almost in the playoffs in a bunch of different times. So I mean, I don't know. I like Philip Rivers, but I think like for me, I feel like Philip Rivers has more to prove. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that like Philip Rivers has more to prove, but I don't know if he's had the opportunities really to prove it to us that he's that good. Um, I mean, I love Philip Rivers, but I just want and a lot of people I talked to Colts fans before too who feel like why did you sign Philip Rivers? When you kind of can prepare for whatever the next step is. Maybe that's getting somebody in the draft or like because Philip Rivers is a temporary fix. Like it's almost like a band-aid. And is it one of those everybody knows those band-aids you get from the hospital after they took blood from you, them things ain't coming off. But if you get one of them little cheap band-aids, so which band-aid is it?
Well, and also we were kind of, and again, we were kind of put up against a wall here, between a rock and a hard place with the surprise retirement of Andrew Luck. We didn't really have that replacement, and we had time. Don't get me wrong, but still, when you don't have that, when you're not ready for it, I still think he should have said something earlier and not just kind of sprung it on, the team, the league, and everything like that. Um, but I still think that's kind of, we didn't really have uh much time to like really react. And then COVID happened, and we didn't even know if there was going to be a season, let alone draft or anything like that.
Well, and COVID with a new quarterback too. That's been a tough
Exactly.
situation for a lot of teams.
Yeah. So it's like, we're kind of doing the best we can with the cards we're dealt. But y'all saying that, two of you won and two of us lost. As I recall, the Raiders won, so I feel like I kind of got that dub.
Real quick before we are going to talk
Weak.
about that. We are going to talk about that. Adam, you got any thoughts on that Browns Colts game? Do you want to chime in at all on kind of what you thought watching your team?
Yeah, and I also want to echo a lot on what Casey just touched on. It was a little puzzling at first when the Colts signed Rivers. But the more I thought of it, I mean, and again, this is pre-COVID. The more I thought of it, I'm like, the pieces that they have already, and let's see what they do in the draft. I'm like, this may not be a bad idea, because you look at last year, the situation with Brissett. Brissett got hurt. Who was next in line? Hoyer. This time, knock on wood for you guys, if something happens to Phil, you have a more suitable backup in Brissett. Now, him getting acclimated with these new players and Frank Reich's system, I think there might be some connection there. That was part of the appeal, but still, getting acquainted with T.Y. Hilton, their tight end. The tight end escapes me, and it's killing me because heard his name in a bunch of. For some reason, it begins with a B. Anyway, again, just getting acclimated to these new players. COVID happened. You didn't have that. You didn't have that off season, to really get a lot of those reps in before actual training camp. So that was going to be a process. But being that Phil is a savvy veteran, I mean, he has passed his Charger days where he was throwing for 4,000 yards and having Antonio Gates and Vincent Jackson, stuff like that. You still have a solid core, and that was, to me, the big get on it, is that he, unfortunately, too, based on what we saw Sunday, it's not even a Band-Aid, it's a gauze, because you can hold it there, but then you let go, it flops. Because he made some throws on Sunday that I'm like, you saw that last year, and I'm like, this is okay. Obviously, his skills are diminishing. I mean, he's 38 years old, but I'm like, okay, new scenery, new team. Let's see what happens. I didn't think he would make this type of throw. The pick six, I'm like, he would never do that 3 years ago, because that pick from Ronnie Harrison, it wasn't like he came from the backside out of nowhere and just telegraphed it, which would have been a great play. He was shadowing that receiver the whole way, and it's like, Phil, come on. And the one later to Sheldrick Redwine, that was just a systematic breakdown in pocket collapsing. He steps up in the pocket. You could see it in his face, the panic, like, I got to get rid of this, and air mails one, and boom, Redwine gets
But
it.
that's
But
Philip Rivers, though, right? Like wouldn't you say that is Philip Rivers? He is more of like a gunslinger. He's had a gunslinger type mentality pretty much his whole year, his
I
whole
wouldn't.
career, I should say.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That's he has that tendencies, because again, when I think gunslinger, the first name that comes to mind is Favre. to where he goes, I don't care how narrow this window is, I'm going to fit the football into that spot. Favre is one of the best I've ever seen at it. Again, Baker has a little bit of that mentality, and I mean, he has said it. Favre was his favorite quarterback growing up, and people, he was asked about this after the Dallas game. Who was your favorite Dallas player, growing up, because he's from Texas. And he goes, well, actually, I was a Packers fan because I loved Favre, da 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 da. And again, Romo had those same type of tendencies, whatever, though. But with Phil, as weird as it sounds, in keeping it on Browns, whatever, though, Phil reminds me a lot of Bernie Kosar, because not so much the form. It's just he had a strong enough arm to place the football where it needed to be. He was very good at, back in his better days with San Diego, he was great at throwing guys open. You would think that, oh my God, this is a duck, but the receiver would be 4 or 5 yards, ahead of the corner. So like Phil, still has. It's more his decision making, I would say. The skills, yes, but it's more of his decision making that I think is puzzling. But
does that come with age, though, Adam?
Yes,
Like because when the arm slows down, you want to, you like you said, it may look like a duck, but now it might actually be a duck because you're getting older now. So
yeah,
yeah.
and that's but again, that's having that chemistry with your receiver, understanding their tendencies when they make their double moves, or like he likes, the guy likes the ball more strong side or in the middle, et cetera, et cetera. But yes, and not to mention too, obviously, corners are becoming more and more. I mean, it's been like that for a while, but really, I would say maybe the last 3 or 4 years, corners have been a luxury pick when it comes to drafting players. But in terms of going back to Andrew Luck, I know a lot of people thought that like why didn't Andrew kind of give a hint or give the Iggy on that before making that decision? And I think he really was battling, because obviously he wants to play, but I pretty much from his own mouth said that I got tired of rehabbing, coming back, working out this, that, and the other, and then re-aggravate my leg. I think that was his issue, but it was just the grind and the many hours in trying to come back. Just like what am I doing? I'm not having a quality. Aside from not having a quality career, and I'm not having a quality of life, because I'm just making myself miserable. And the backlash that he got in that decision, I thought was a little unfair. I mean, a guy's looking out for his well-being. On the surface, again, I'm not a Colts hater, but I'm obviously not a Colts fan. I was a major Andrew Luck fan, or as I call him, Andre the Giant. Altabiria is over. Ha 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 ha. But like I said, the flack he was getting, and I got a buddy that was ripping him to shred, and I said, like, dude, what do you expect? I mean, like we can't blame a guy that's thinking about his health first. I mean, look what happened to who's the guy from the Panthers that just retired? Kuechly, right?
Yeah, Kuechly.
Yeah, so concussions. That's especially what we know now. It's not a joke. I feel horrible for Panthers fans, because he was a stud.
And to kind of chime in on that, with the Colts, we had, ironically, Austin Collie, who I thought he wasn't a great receiver, but he was good. He was decent.
He was a good number 2 or number 3 receiver. Yeah.
Yeah, but he kept getting, concussions and concussions. And, I think last time I checked, after he left the NFL, I think he went to the CFL. He went to some other league. But, when you have something like that where you keep getting concussions, it's going to keep happening. And I felt really bad for him because he was young. He had only been in the league a few years. Um, so it's like, situations like that, and also with Luck. Luck was young too. Is young, and sometimes you have to make those tough decisions, and it's not as easy as just saying, all right, guys, I'm probably going to retire next season, blah blah blah. So I get that. It was still kind of like frustrating. I think it was more frustrating for fans, not so much mad at him, but just frustrating at the situation. um but then also, I wanted to add with like the gunslinger thing, and not even just necessarily gunslingers, but when I think of something like that, I think of guys who are synonymous with their receivers. I would think to an extent, like a Peyton Manning with Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison. Um, not so much Philip Rivers, just because he did have some decent running backs. Not to say that the Colts didn't have decent running backs, but I feel like, and also with with Tom Brady, he's gonna throw the ball more often than hand it off, um, because he usually has really good receivers, and you know, uh, but I think the benefit that they had, specifically talking about Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, is they were with their teams for so long. Like Peyton was with the Colts for so long, and Tom was with the Patriots for so long, that you know, they had that, connection with their receivers. Peyton had that connection with Harrison, Wayne, Clark. Tom, or yeah, Tom has that connection with Gronk, with really whoever was on the team over the years. Um, Whereas now, guys like Philip Rivers have to build that and kind of figure that out. Um, so, and then at the same time, you have to look at it as well. It is like, what are we in, week 6 now? So it's like, when is it? When is it still early, and when is it like, okay, come on, let's get this going?
Yeah, because early this year could be easily mid-season.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead, Adam.
No, yeah, and specifically, specifically talking about the game on Sunday. Um, it was weird. We were talking last week, because I know, like, you guys were saying that the Colts had the suspect defense, and I had gotten to, I got into thinking too, like I know they probably haven't had like the most quality opponents, whatever though, but I'm like, for 4 weeks, they were rated the number 1 defense in the NFL. And that kind of took me back a bit, but then I keep forgetting they picked up Buckner. They have Justin Houston. Yes, Darius Leonard was out, whatever, but I'm like, that is a quality. The Colts are still a quality team. It was like, this was the first time that they ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw with our defensive line. That's why I said it was strength on strength. But again, Myles Garrett is, if he's not, because I know he's just behind Aaron Donald in sacks, but like, he is single-handedly wrecking games. The play of the game, with maybe the exception of the pick six, the play of the game was the safety. When This was the one of the biggest bonehead, and Casey, I'm sorry, I don't know if you've seen the clip. This was one of the biggest bonehead decisions, and this is coming from a fan, and I've seen a lot in 21 years. But dude from the Colts, like, we punt it. Dude from the Colts gets to the 4-yard line and fair catches it, rather than just letting it go into the end zone. Very, very first play, Miles and Olivier Vernon are smothering Philip Rivers, and he chucks one to nobody to the sideline and intentional grounding, safety. But like, to me, that was key, because that got the game back to what was it at that point, to 29-20. It was this close of being a blowout, but when after the pick six, I think the team got a little too comfortable, because the very next play, they dude from the Colts takes it back 101 yards, and I was madder than fuck watching that, because it was almost like after, like, they corner him into the sideline, and it was almost like those guys thought that he was going to step out. Finds a crease, boom, he's gone, and that you could hear a pin drop in the stadium, because I'm like, here we go, because that's happened over the years. Browns get out to a lead of any significance, one play, just, it may seem so minuscule, but one play happens and that just starts an avalanche. DJ, I'm going to see if you remember this. Ravens are at Cleveland. The Browns are up 20-0. It's just before half. We just scored. Ravens kick or block the extra point and take it back the other way for a safety. And then I don't even know if we scored again for the rest of the game going into the second half. And McCowan threw a pick to end the game after Terrell Pryor got one of the biggest BS unsportsmanlike conduct penalties ever. He literally was, after he got a catch from McCowan, and he was like literally looking for where a referee was to hand the ball, and he dropped the ball, and it like knocked a Ravens player in the head, as if he just picked it up and just spiked it on it. It was like, anyway, I digress. But no, it was a tale of two halves, because the Colts were obviously prepared and ready to defend the run, which they were doing a fantastic job at. Like, Kareem nor Dearness Johnson could get anything going, but Baker was finding Odell, finding Jarvis, finding Hooper. The one thing that they have really done well is when they do those play action boots, where they go to the right and Baker rolls to the left. They have those level concepts where you have maybe Odell down in close range, then maybe Hooper, and then Jarvis on the same levels. So he's got options. But this time, Jarvis fakes that he's going to go to the right, whatever, though, and then wheels back to the left, and boom, a big chunk play, which was one thing that they desperately need to start getting more of. They need to get more chunk plays. I do like Baker's decision making of, like, hey, nothing wrong with the check down, live to fight another day. Like, the bigger plays will open up. But then the Colts started to key in on Baker's tendencies, and then they really started getting more pressure on him. O-line still had a good game, and I think he only gave up one sack. But you really started to see them start to tee off on some of these passes, because regardless, like that big circus catch that Odell had, that was still a dangerous throw, but that was all Odell. Baker still threw it up to where only Odell could go get it. But even then, I was in my chair like, my God. And it happened a few more times where I'm like, man, that's a close call. Eventually, they're going to start teeing off on that. And, lo and behold, boom, second half, 2 picks. The second one was that was all Justin Houston when he clobbered Baker, caused him to kind of have an errant throw it, and, it got picked off. But then the running game started to open up a little bit. Again, not for big chunk yards, but like it wasn't just no gain or 1 or 2 yards game. And Kareem really started to find his stride. But the play of the game in terms of the offense, 3rd and 9. It's just under 2 minutes. Colts still have a timeout. Kevin Stefanski calls a run to Dearness Johnson, and Hollywood Higgins lays the wood on the defensive back. Just shoulder chucks him, and Dearness breaks away for a 30-yard run, which to ice it. So I know their defense, might be suspect. Again, maybe I would still not call it overrated, but it was the first time that they've gotten a quality opponent in that aspect, to where, like, again, the coaching staff of the Browns have been great with the game plan, and Bill Callahan has been the godsend that the Browns have needed in terms of,
Well, I mean,
of
if
coaching, lack of penalties.
if we're gonna, cause my teams fall victim to this all the time. I'm gonna call them overrated, Adam, because if the Ravens can lose to the Chiefs for the only loss this year, and nobody thinks they can bounce back from it, and the Colts finally play a decent team, a decent offense with weapons, and they can't defend anything, then I think as of now they're overrated. Now next week they might prove me wrong.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. But if I'm not mistaken, I do believe the Colts have the Bengals. So that's a get well game for them.
It's a get well game, but we know Joe Burrow's gonna throw it around the yard. And I mean, if you put too much pressure on him, he might throw it to the other team. It just depends on which Joe Burrow wants to show up.
I swear, like he has to be pissing blood right now because he just is getting annihilated left and right. No, but anyway, to finish up on the game, because I don't want to keep taking all the time. But no, anyway, it was a quality win against a quality team that now I think the perception is starting to show, because the Browns are not there yet. For anybody out there that is a Cleveland fan, we are not there yet because they still did not play their best game. But it's the first time I can say they can actually learn from a win rather than having all these meaningless moral victories. Like now, this is the product of expectation that, like, you still, despite having a lull for a half, you still are having the expectation like we are going to pull through with those 1 or 2 plays that's going to put them over the top. But yeah, like, again, still some heart palpitations towards the end of that game, but it was exactly what I thought it would be. It was a slugfest. Browns did good against the Colts defense, but again, 32 ended up in 32-23 when really, all things considered, if things play out right and you don't give up that kick return, that's 32-13 because they only gave up 1 touchdown on the offense, and that was the opening drive. But other than that,
for the Browns fans who may feel bad because he said you're not there yet, to help everybody out, nobody's there yet except for maybe Green Bay. so let's be honest. The Chiefs aren't there. The Ravens aren't there. The Browns aren't there. The Colts aren't there. Like, the Seahawks aren't there. Everybody's had a bad week except for maybe Green Bay, and they're due for one. It's coming.
Of course,
maybe this week.
Amen. But and it's just like when Baker started back in 2018 and they started getting on that run once December hit, then there was all this talk about, man, they can still make the playoffs. I'm like, screw you. I'm just glad I'm having meaningful football in December for the first time in my life, or at least since 2002. Last year they had all that expectation, and it was the letdown of letdowns. Now you're having signs of being well coached. You're executing. Still, I'm waiting for that complete game where it's all 4 quarters of everybody in synergy, whatever that. So that's why I'm saying that's why this week in particular is absolutely paramount that you show up. You have to, for the love of God, because I've never, it's happened, but I've never watched on TV. I've never watched a game where the Browns have beaten the Steelers at Pittsburgh, and this is the year they must do it.
Real quick, Adam, for the comment below, the Bears are frauds, Rabbit. I'm just gonna tell you that now. The Bears are absolute frauds. Get out of here. Go ahead, Casey.
By the way, thank you for beating the Buccaneers.
I just got a question, real quick for Justin. How's that one taste? How's that one L taste? That first L. How does it taste?
I'm actually not too mad about it right now. Like, okay, Sunday I was going like, I was really mad about it then. But I mean, these last couple weeks have been kind of weird for the Chiefs. I mean, I feel like last week when they played the Patriots, if they had Cam Newton, I felt like we could have lost that game. I felt like we could have 2 losses here. Thankfully, we don't. But I mean, it was just a weird game. I mean, the first half wasn't bad. Like, I got, yeah, we're just going to run away with the game. Like, it was like 24-3, something like first half. And then second half, like, our defense has been very weird these past couple weeks. And, like, we've just been giving up big plays. I mean, I remember, I think it was during the second half, it was with Henry Ruggs, and Derek Carr just threw it way down the field, and I think it was Honey Badger and somebody else was guarding him. Like, we had 2 guys on him, and we just spun him down to the end zone. I got what? Like, we were just giving up really big plays, and our defense was looking terrible, especially the secondary. I mean, we were just looking bad all around, and also we were getting down to the end zone, but we couldn't put the ball in the end zone, which that's unusual for the Chiefs. I mean, I just get used to seeing the Chiefs, this high-scoring team, going off against everybody. I just got used to it at this point.
Well, and Justin, here's a good comeback for you, for Casey. Just ask him how those 2 losses tasted for him.
Yeah. How those 2 losses taste for you? Like, come on, come at me, bro. You ain't Super Bowl chance for a while. Nah.
You're gonna feel my wrath.
You get 1 Super Bowl win in like 50 years, and you're all cocky. Okay?
No, we've run it back this year. We've run it back this time.
What's a Super Bowl?
What's a Super Bowl? It's a bowl, and it's very big. It's a Super Bowl.
Speaking of which, I think we need to get like a Detroit Lions fan in here.
Ooh, we need to get a Jets fan in here.
We
need to bring Aaron back.
Come on.
We'll talk about his release and what that means for the rest of the NFL.
But no, like, I just been getting used to the Chiefs. We always win against our division. Also, like, we beat the Raiders these past 7 times. And they finally broke their losing streak against us, and it was at home, which we don't lose at home very much. And I remember, I don't know who was announcing the game, but it's saying they were comparing the Chiefs to like the Patriots. How the Patriots, they always win their division. They rarely lose a divisional game, which we've been these past few years. We haven't lost a division for a while. And we haven't lost a divisional game for a while, and we finally lose, which it was kind of shocking. And also the Raiders, they were doing a lot of they were taking a lot of chances here, like 4th and 1, going on 4th and 1. Like, you have to take these chances against the Chiefs if you want to beat us. Because if you're taking all these field goals, like, you're never going to come back. Yeah, so you got to take chances against the Chiefs.
Yeah, you have to try to. I don't want to say steal a possession, but the classic, you can't give the ball back to Mahomes, because again,
and also Mahomes throwing a pick, like, he barely throws picks, but yeah, I mean, we're gonna come back from it. I mean, this week we got the Bills, so it's not gonna be bad. I believe in my Chiefs.
Casey, it's on you. You got something to say? I can feel it.
I'm waiting until he's done with the Chiefs game, because there's something that we need to talk about. Like,
is it specifically about the Chiefs game, or
no? That's why
it's unrelated. Real quick, before we get off the Chiefs game, I feel like it has been a weird couple of weeks for the Chiefs. I think, you know, they, I didn't feel like they looked that good in the Patriots game, and I didn't feel like they looked that good last week either against the Raiders. Now the Raiders always play them tough. I feel
Yeah,
like
they
the
do.
Raiders are one of those teams that just consistently play the Chiefs tough. But I think at the same time, like we gotta hold off on the Chiefs are gonna run it back. Chiefs are a dynasty. Like, can you be a dynasty before you win your second title? Can you really? Media,
Nah.
slow down just a little bit first. Just slow down just a little bit, just a hair. I don't know. I think the Chiefs are a great team, but I think a lot of the hype around the Chiefs is overblown. Like everybody's like the Chiefs, the Chiefs, the Chiefs, the Chiefs, the Chiefs, and they're great, all time great offense. Defense shows up when they need to, but like I mean, they've had some inconsistent games, but everybody's like, um, yeah, they beat the Ravens. Yeah, that was a good game. Uh like everybody's like closing their eyes and talking about other games where they played well. Nobody talks about when the Chiefs played badly and where to exploit them. And I think that's an issue because even with Justin, I think Justin has a keen eye for what the Chiefs do wrong, what the Chiefs do right. But I don't know if every Chiefs fan doesn't have smoke blown up their butt telling them that they're the greatest team of all time and they're due for a Super Bowl. Like,
See,
don't get me wrong.
at least I'm not a Cowboys fan, trying to be like a Cowboys fan and go like, oh yeah, we're the greatest, even though they're not.
Cowboys fans get like 3 wins and they're like, "We're going to the Super Bowl!" Yeah.
And then
Well,
they expand the
let's say the
playoffs.
Cowboys will not be going to the Super Bowl this year after that injury to Dak Prescott.
That's what I wanted to bring up because we need to get that out of the way. My friend brought it up and reminded me, and had to bring up the infamous Sid Vicious, and yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I thought when I saw it the first time. And who was it? Was it Aikman or Romo who was on commentary?
I think it was
saying,
Romo.
It was Romo. I know where you're going.
saying like,
Ah,
maybe it's just a sprain. His foot was bent the wrong way.
Let
What?
me.
Now,
I know.
now,
It's funny. Go ahead, DJ.
no, I was just gonna say this is Romo's first big injury as a as a commentator, so we give him a little bit of a pass.
Yeah, I mean he's still calling stuff before it even happens. But yes, but I will say this to play devil's advocate. I honestly think when that happened, he saw that on his monitor and then jumped up and was like, "Oh no!" and was physically looking into the field rather than his monitor. But it's still we only can go by what we see on TV. It was just oh maybe it's just a sprain, Jim. And it's like it has teeth coming out of his foot.
It almost like when you first looked at it, it looked like it felt like it was his heel coming out when you first looked at it. Then you looked at it again, and you're like, oh,
it
and
looked
and
like
then
it looked like a prosthetic. It looked fake.
right, I even thought that it was almost a dislocation. Like, I mean, I think it was
Well,
too, but like, I almost thought it was a dislocation because you remember when Patrick Mahomes got hurt last year, his leg didn't look right either.
well, and with that, I think from what I heard, it was a dislocation, but it was also a fracture. And from what I heard, I think their bone was sticking out of flesh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
can
why they had
see
to
the
rush him to the
bone.
hospital.
Yeah, you could see the bone like trying to go through the sock or his compression sleeve. I mean, it was nasty. But here's the bigger problem with that, and I think I brought this up a few weeks ago. I don't think Dak is quite at that point where he deserves Pat Mahomes level money. I don't think he's quite there yet. But a deal needed to get done in the offseason for him, whatever though, for security. Because this is what happened. The Cowboys bet against Dak and they won. Stephen A. and a few other people brought that up because that is the underlying issue. you may see that franchise tag start to evaporate because it's like you guys are like, hey, cool. I'll have that dough for this year, but again, I want that security for when I come back because something tells me like I after this, I do think Jerry is going to give him a substantial deal to get him secured. I don't think it's still going to be mega money. He still may go to the tag again, which I think at this point it's going to be like 37 million. I mean, again, I'll snap my leg for $37 million. I mean, let's be honest, but it just Jerry is so damn stubborn. We see through his BS, and it's just frustrating. It's like, you mean to tell me that there could have been no meeting of the minds for him to get again a 3-year deal, whatever, at a good chunk of change?
Here's the
But
issue too, Adam. Like, you paid everybody else. You
you paid
paid
Zeke.
everybody. Like, you paid Zeke, you paid Jalen Smith, you paid DeMarcus Lawrence, and look what your defense has done for you. Like, and you're trying to tell me you can't pay the guy who's given you stability over the past 3 years, 4 years? Like, what?
Yeah, and he has proven himself, and I think everybody can agree on that. Is like, it's not like, well, he's kind of starting to turn the car. No, like what, in 16 they went what, 13-3 under him. So
Yeah.
I mean, come on. But I could just hear, Jerry now going, I believe that we will make Dak the new Steve Austin in the $6 million man. We will get him back as a cyborg. He is going to have the bone structure of a Terminator come next year because I'm the reason why this league exists.
I think too, and I think another thing too with that is, like, I think that I don't know. I don't think the injury is not as bad as Alex Smith's injury. It looks bad, but it's not. I don't think it's nearly as bad as that injury. But one of the cool things that Washington did, even though they're poorest organization, they did pay Alex Smith. They extended Alex Smith while he was hurt, not knowing if he was going to come back, which I think was, like, bold of them. Because I mean, they didn't really have to do that, but they did, knowing everything that he went through. So I hope in some way that gets some sort of insurance policy for this entire thing, because I think he has brought stability to the Dallas Cowboys, unlike they've seen in a while. I mean, Romo brought stability, but I think Dak brought a winning culture too that I think they quickly forget about, because they were either first or second in the NFC East every year under Dak. So, I mean, what more can you really expect?
Well, and I mean, two things, extending off of that. I mean, one, how great was it to see Alex, jump onto the field and they show the family in the stands? I mean, I thought that was really
Yeah.
cool. And there is some light with the Dak injury. I know Jason Garrett loved him. And that's why it was cool to see him come out next to McCarthy, and he kind of gave him a pat on the back, whatever. And nobody. That's why even Stephen A. Smith, as much as he piles on the Cowboys, and again, it's a gimmick, blah blah blah. But it was, you never want to see that from a player, or whatever. And again, that was if you want to put 2020 with
In
a
a nutshell.
photo in a nutshell.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, and that photo is just that image of Dak with
Him
the
crying.
towel, him
Yeah.
sobbing.
Yeah, dude.
But the little bit of hope, whatever, that when as he's going off the field, he's raising the fist, whatever. I'm like, so he'll be back. He'll be back. Now I don't know how they will go, because we don't know what next year's going to look like, if we're still in a pandemic or this, that, and the other. But I mean, things will get interesting come, I would say, whenever you have to make a decision on the player's price tag, if you're going to franchise them. I think that comes February. So come that time in March is something to keep an eye on.
Right. Real quick. I know. I want to talk about Le'Veon Bell getting released. I don't have a team out of the top of my head that that he could go to, but I think he could help some teams. For some reason, Chicago comes up to me as a team because you got to remember they lost Tariq Cohen, who is supposed to be kind of that speed by speed type of deal with well, it was supposed to be him and Mitch, but now even with Nick Foles, that helps. I think David Montgomery's good, but I do think they need a little bit more of a versatile back to help him out since Tariq Cohen is out for the year. So maybe that could be a spot for Le'Veon Bell to end up. I don't think he'll end up back in Pittsburgh. I think they really like James Conner a lot. That's all I can think of as of right now.
Maybe Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. I was gonna think about Jacksonville too. I don't see him signing with Jacksonville. I think he wants to probably go to a contender after being on a non-contender for a year and a half. I think he wants to be on a contender now.
He goes to Kansas City. No, we don't want him in KC.
Here's one. Just out of the blue, especially because this could have been a vital point of the game last night. The Chargers,
Right?
Yeah,
because what is it? Didn't they just lose a running back?
They lost Eckler, didn't they?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah,
they
did lose Eckler.
I don't know why. I had that name in mind, but I'm like, he plays running back, right? I'm usually okay, well versed in a lot of the team's players, but I thought about that. But that would, and for one, that would take a lot of not about to say but a lot of pressure off of Herbert. And let me just say, Herbert is for real.
Yeah, he is.
I agree.
I have been very wrong on him because I thought picking him that high, I thought was a little bit of a stretch. But yeah, for some reason, I think that would be, and going to a place warm on the West Coast. I think that could be a thing. But it's a matter of, because this is the other thing to consider. Anthony Lynn is not going to put up with this BS.
Yeah, I think another one too. Maybe the Broncos. The Broncos peek out to me having a young quarterback, needing maybe a veteran running back. But one that really sticks out to me, and kind of pairing him with David Johnson, is the Houston Texans. Just because they feel like they need an option in the backfield. I like David Johnson a lot, but I don't know if he's giving them that spark that they wanted out of him when they traded him for DeAndre Hopkins. Or maybe the Giants too. He's not like the lineup in I form type of a back or anything like that. But I mean, I think it'll give the Giants a little bit of a spark that they need too. Even though I think Devonta Freeman looked pretty good last week, I was really impressed by him the way he looked early in that game. So maybe it would be good, especially with Devonta Freeman getting older, to have a Le'Veon Bell there to kind of spell him out too. I think that would be good. But I think the Texans might be the best option right now.
Well, and also, and Le'Veon's also a threat in the passing game, which, David can be the bell cow, but, Le'Veon gives another threat, and that might open things up for, I'm trying to think, again, like a Fuller. They have Robert Woods, don't they? I feel like they got some, but the Texans.
They got Cooks. They got Brandon Cooks.
That's right. Whatever. So they do have some guys, but like they're the threat of the passing game has nosedived since Hopkins has left. So and that could be but I would narrow it down to maybe those three, like Chargers, Bears, Texans. And then again, you put that whatever order you want, whatever, though, because that's the other thing too. He's going to make the executive decision and say, like, to his agent, you have to give me to someone that has a spark. Now I know the Chargers are only got one win, whatever, though, but they are at the cusp of having one or two more wins.
Yeah, they've been playing pretty. They've been having really close games. Like a lot of their games been like 7 points or less. It's like been crazy. Like them going to overtime last night with the Saints. Like he was hanging in there with Drew Brees of all, and
he was hanging with Tom Brady.
he was hanging with Patrick Mahomes like the first week. He almost beat us the first. I'm not the first week. Was it the first week? No, second week.
It was the first week he started.
Yeah, the first week he started. Yeah,
the first week he came in. I mean,
yeah.
Lungate.
Yeah.
Lungate.
Lungate.
We're going to get into the week 6 predictions real quick. I do want to talk about the Ravens-Bengals game real quick. I feel like it was weird as much as it was a blowout, and I felt like it was over in like the third quarter when we finally got like it was 20-0 and I felt like it was over. But when it got to 27-0, I knew it was over. So like it was weird. Like even though I didn't feel like we played sharp, Lamar looked a little off. I know he had a death in the family, and I know I'm not in the family, but his best friend, which is practically family for him, and that I think was playing in his head a little bit too. Of course, he had the knee issue throughout the week that he missed 2 practices with too. So yeah, he was a little off, but I mean, like I said, with the personal things, I'll give him a little bit of a pass because not every athlete can just go out there when somebody dies and just light the world on fire like that. That definitely has a mental edge on you. But I mean, in terms of the game, the defense played amazingly. They got after Joe Burrow a lot. They forced him into some bad throws. I don't know why. Did they have 8 sacks? Yeah, Adam said they had eight sacks, which was, and I think a lot of them were by DBs, if I'm not mistaken, too, because they were slinging a bunch of stunts.
Humphrey owned him that day.
Yeah,
coming around the edge.
I mean, he's definitely earned his money. I think if you didn't believe it before, with the amount of strips he's had and interceptions he's had, like he's definitely, and then Marcus Peters got one too. He's definitely earned his money. And I know Adam was mentioning to me in the chat that day when the game was going on that Lamar should have like 4 picks. And I was watching it too, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on with Lamar today, because Lamar is an interesting quarterback, right? Like if you watch him throw the ball, if you really watch him throw the ball, he almost has like this perfectionist syndrome, right? He really tries to put the ball where nobody else can get it but his receiver every time. Like I watched some of his best throws, and he'll throw the football where like nobody's gonna get it, or like even the throw to Hollywood was like right in the bucket. I don't know if y'all saw that play where it should have been a touchdown, but Hollywood dropped it. He threw the ball right to Hollywood, low. Nobody was going to get it but Hollywood, and I think the defender may have gotten a hand in or something like that. But there was no other place he could have put that football, and that's the weird part about Lamar, is like he really is like a perfectionist when he does throw the ball, and maybe that's sometimes why he does get in his head, because he really, he wants to put the ball on the outside shoulder when it's supposed to go on the outside shoulder. He wants to put the ball high when it's supposed to be high. So, yeah, go ahead, Casey.
No, I was just gonna add to the whole. I know I had heard also that he had a death, his best friend or whatever. And that kind of, because I didn't get to watch the game, so I didn't see how he played, if he played well or not. That's another thing that I was just thinking of that can kind of dictate either way how you play, because we've seen it in the past as well. I believe, I want to say it was,
he had a Monday Night Football game or something.
Exactly. His dad died, and he went out there and had one of the best games, he could have. So it's like, sometimes that pushes you, because, you want to play for your dad, for your best friend, for whoever. Again, I didn't get to watch the game, but, that's, you got to kind of take that into consideration too, how, mentally, how they take it.
Yeah, that's true. We were, not Adam didn't mention that to me. I saw that somewhere. But Adam was talking in the chat about some different things with Lamar that were kind of seemed a little bit off. And even with like taking off to run, that was another thing that it felt like he wasn't taking off to run. Like the coaches were like, hey, like, don't run, stay in the pocket. You hear what they're talking about. You hear what they're saying, right? You can't win a Super Bowl with your legs. You can't do it. Like, And I do have a question for Adam. Go ahead, Adam. I know you got a point, but I have a question for you because you weren't here last week when I asked this question.
Yeah, right. Well, it just there were so many times where when he did finally make the decision to take off and run, whatever the middle was already collapsed, or he would kind of think about it and then he would backpedal back into the pocket, and that's where a couple of those coverage sacks, came in. I'm just like, man, normally if he sees it, and I mean this he's not run first, like it wasn't like RG3 where he three step drop, his first read's not there, I'm taking off and running. It's like, no, like Lamar is very meticulous into going through his reads and then taking off. But there was a lot of times where, and I mean, a lane would be wide open for him to get 8-9 yards, and he wasn't quite pulling the trigger. With you mentioning that, now that kind of makes me rethink his performance a little bit in terms of, you want to say, giving a pass and whatnot, because again, it's horrible for anybody to go through that. I didn't know about that. I knew about the groin injury and that he had missed a couple of days this past week, but I didn't hear about the death, whatever. So maybe that was kind of waiting. But I just saw that, and like, one thing I do, and I think I've mentioned this to you before, is that Lamar going outside to the numbers, that I would say that is his maybe weak spot in terms of his passing game. Down the middle, he's spectacular. But like going outside the numbers, he missed Andrews on a couple of just easy picks where like you said, he airmailed when he didn't need to throw it high. The corners and the safeties were 5-6 yards away. All you had to do was just hit them square in the numbers, and it's an easy pitch and catch. But I don't know. There was just certain elements. I'm like, man, I know they're blowing out the Bengals, whatever. But man, Lamar is sloppy. Something ain't right there.
Which is weird because he went off against the Bengals last year, so it's like twice. So it's like, what's going on, Lamar? But I feel like he'll be back next week. Real quick, before we get into the week 6 picks segment, Adam, I had a question for you. I asked everybody else. We got a no from Casey on this one and a yes from Justin on this one. So I guess you're the tiebreaker if we don't count my vote. So Adam, because of course you watch the Ravens a good bit, being a Browns fan, just watching them in film and whatnot. But do you feel like if the Ravens play their game, anybody can beat them? Because and what I mean by play their game is run the football 30 plus times. I noticed a correlation when they do not run the ball 30 plus times, they tend to lose. Which, I mean, that's like 6 losses that they've had. But out of the 6 I'm trying to think. Out of the 6 losses that they had, 2 of the losses they ran the football more than 30 times. The rest of those games, Titans were one of them where they gave the backs 8 carries. The Chiefs this year was another one where they didn't run the ball 30 times. One of the outliers was the Chiefs in Lamar's rookie year, but it's completely different offense. Do you feel like the Ravens can be beat if they actually play their game? Most of the games they've lost, Chargers is another one where they decided they wanted to throw the ball 60 times instead of just sticking to the game that got you there in the first place.
That's so tough, because if they actually play to their strength, which I would say is run first, just because, again, when you have a 3-headed monster like that, to not, and I guess, and I don't know if that is the decision making from Lamar or if that's coaching, because if you get any type of substantial lead, 10 points, say, they put more on Lamar to pass the ball, which I do think that is a downgrade in that instance. I mean, you mentioned the Titans game. What did he drop back for? 60 times? It was like Joe Burrow numbers.
Yeah, it was something like 60 times. Even in this game, was weird. They had him throw the ball 37 times, which is interesting.
And that's insane. And yes, Geno Atkins is a stud. Dunlap is, and again, I know he's older, but he's still a very solid. They do have a solid front, but like to me, that offensive line should have eaten them alive. And Ingram popped off some runs, Dobbins popped off some runs, but really, to me, the guy that is that steers the ship is Gus. To
Exactly.
me, in my opinion. But to answer your question, but if they play that style where I mean, again, you're utilizing Gus, you're utilizing Ingram, whatever though, get Dobbins in the pack, whatever. Like to me, they can't be. They cannot be beat, and not to mention they're also, I can't say opportunistic because again they could start off at the half-yard line and march down the field with ease, whatever. Though, but in the complement to their defense with Queen and Peters, Humphreys playing out of his mind, whatever. They give them they take the pressure off of having to have Lamar sling it, left and right, whatever. He doesn't need to. He'll have his traditional RPO runs or just straight up design runs, but you have one of the better running back rooms in the NFL, and when that is your point of attack behind Gus and behind Ingram in particular, to me they cannot be beat.
And I was just I was curious about that because I just wanted to hear everybody's input on that because I like I told Justin and Casey last week, I felt like I was obsessed with the Chiefs loss because everybody just was like, "Oh, the Ravens suck, throw them out," blah blah. But I'm like, every time we lose, it's the same formula every single time. They don't run the ball like they need to. They get away from the run, and it's not even about it being down. Like they got down against the Chiefs in the first quarter, and I think when they came back, there was a point where they threw the football 3 straight times and got a 3 and out. Like why? Like you have time. You're literally down by 3 points at this point. Why are you not doing what setting up that short third down, setting up that short second down? I don't get it.
Yeah, and you had mentioned
JJ had an
it.
amazing run, by the way. I don't know if you saw it last week. That run was
Yes.
ridiculous. He got one run, 34 yards, didn't run the football again. That's coaching.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense. But and as you said too, whatever. And the time that they start going into zipping it, trying to get him to zip the ball around, it's like why are we hitting? I'm not saying you don't have the urgency, whatever though, but like just have the patience. Have that have the patience to still, because it's the same thing that I would say like with Cleveland is. I kept saying that Sunday. I understand that the running game is not what it was the week before, whatever. But you have to continue to grind that down because I love this analogy. It's like slowly chiseling or hitting a sledgehammer to a wall. Eventually, it's going to bust. You're wearing down that defensive line, and you're also gassing them and not getting a pass rush.
Yeah.
So even if it's just something underneath, whatever, though, you can, as you said before, couple yard runs. Again, boom. Now it's 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 4. You don't have to always stretch the field, which is to me what happened with the Chiefs on Sunday. It's like they were trying to just 10-yard drop back and just have him sling it to Tyreek Hill, whatever. Though, like why are we going for the video game plays? And I don't know if anybody else saw it too, when they got a score late and they went for 2, and I could see the demeanor on Mahomes' face. It's like, okay, I think he's realizing that like we need to get down to business here. And I mean, the defense was just getting smacked in the secondary all day. And Spagnuolo is aggressive, which I do like that he is aggressive up front with Chris Jones and et cetera. But even with Matthew back there, I'm just stunned of like how much space there is between Honey Badger and a guy on the other field, and guys are just running free and wide open. But anyway, but yes, to go with you said, if they play their game, no one can beat them.
All right, we're gonna get to the week 6 predictions. I know we're on the Ravens now, but let's just let's get some other people talking because I don't want it to feel like it's just me. Okay, I don't want it to feel like it's just me. So we're gonna. Where is the Chiefs game? Okay, we're gonna go to the
It's
Chiefs
gonna be on. It's gonna be on Monday night.
Monday at 5. We're just gonna skip all the way to the Chiefs game, which is Monday at 5.
Because it was supposed to be the Thursday night game, but
Okay,
since
but
with COVID, because the Titans had to play tonight on Tuesday, and they were supposed to not the Titans, sorry, the Bills, so they didn't want them, that close.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So Justin, should we start with you? Should we let you be last?
Let me be last. It's a tradition. Let's go Casey first.
The Chiefs and the Bills. Casey, starting out, is it going to be the Bills or the Chiefs, Casey? Who's going to win? It's on you.
It's going to be a simple, easy answer. It's going to be the Buffalo Williams. Get it? Bill Williams. Y'all get it?
Get him out of here. Adam.
Oh, no.
Wait, what? Get him out of here. Somebody kick him. Somebody kick him.
I can't. Here, to me, this would have been your perfect segue to go to like I'm gonna go Earl Hebner in this particular game, and you went to the Anyway, to me the at this rate in the AFC, the Bills I would say are the biggest threat to the Chiefs down the line. But see, this one's rough because
is that with consideration from what they did with the Titans tonight?
Yeah, touche. And because to me that was set up. To me, that was set up for the Bills just to annihilate them, and that's why I said offhand, I'm like, apparently COVID makes you a Super Saiyan, and Vrabel said, You played last week. We haven't played in 3. Hoo-da-ha. We're just going to curb stomp you. But anyway, given how the Chiefs played last week or this past week, I think they will bounce back. I don't think this is going to be the scoring fest that it's going to be. I do believe that this is going to be closer than a lot of people think, but I am going to go with the Chiefs on this one.
All right. And I want to go with the Bills, but I don't know, because the Titans are one of those teams too. Like the Titans and the Ravens are so similar. The Titans just wear you down to the point of where you just need to submit and you cannot play anymore. They have that similar scheme too. Chiefs and the Bills. I think the Bills are really good. I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm gonna go with the Bills. I do think the Chiefs are really good, but I'm gonna go with the Bills simply because I think the Bills got to try to bounce back here. And if they're not careful, the Patriots, they're gonna be sneaking up on them and they're gonna catch them. Or it might be the Dolphins, the way they look.
Dolphins. I mean, the Dolphins are there.
I mean, goodness.
Good Lord, that 49ers game.
And that's the 49ers with Jimmy. I was not watching that game, but I was keeping up with the score, and I was like, yeah, Jimmy G's not in the game. That's what that is. I read, Jimmy G has been benched. What the world is going on? What is happening? I was like, okay. All right, Miami.
I was happy that they were playing CJ Beathard, Iowa quarterback, the Hawkeyes.
That is true. Justin, it's on you. Go ahead and pick outside of your division, within your division.
Background, within my division.
Betwixt your division.
Betwixt? Is that what?
Is that a new,
we got to make up stuff for the Justin.
Wait, is that a new superlative? Betwixt?
Betwixt. Betwixt like my division. I like that. Betwixt my division. No, we're going to bounce back this week. I mean, we need to. I mean, that would suck to lose 2 in a row. And, both teams, I mean, we're both good teams here. I think this is going to be a really close game. But My Chiefs are going to win here. They're gonna come back here. But I think it's going to be a really close scoring game, though. I think this game is in KC. Maybe I can't remember if this is a home game. It's in Buffalo. Ooh. Yeah, my Chiefs are going to win here, though. We're gonna come back here.
All right, let's see. What about the let's see where the Colts are. The Colts and the Bengals. Interesting game. I think I got to go with the Colts just because I think the Bengals are good, like in a way, like they're a good young team, but I think they're just too young for their own good right now. So I'm gonna go with the Colts because I think Philip Rivers gonna show that veteran savvy. He's gonna come out with the bolo tie. He's gonna come out with the bolo tie this week, and that's gonna be the key to victory. Is the bolo tie, Casey? The bolo tie. I got mine on Amazon order for Christmas. I'm a gift to myself. I'm gonna gift it to myself, okay? Just for you, Casey. Just for you. I'm gonna get the bolo tie for Flip. The bolo tie. Anyway, because Arizona got the grass. Now Indy got the bolo tie. See, there you go. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. We're gonna kick it to Adam.
So yes, like for me, this is gonna be easy because I think it's at Indy if I'm not mistaken. So like I'm definitely going to go with the Colts on this one. Especially the defense is going to play mad this game. So and the Bengals O line is treacherous as it is already. You are going to see a monster game from DeForest Buckner. And this could be this could be the week where, as many hits as Burrow has taken, this could be the nail in the coffin for Ryan Finley to come in, because Joe, he doesn't have a prayer in the world with again, especially this past week, whatever. Every time he would fully get back to on his drop back, whatever, though, there were 4 Ravens in the backfield. And the other thing too that Burrow needs to learn how to slide, because I understand like you're trying to gain that 1 or 2 extra yards, but you don't need to nosedive into the turf every single time. But since he
he tries to do a little Ryan Fitzpatrick there.
Minus the beard.
The beard.
Yeah, I mean, and it sucks because I like Joe a lot. It was a great story. He'll always be a de facto Buckeye, in some instances, but he's full fledged, an LSU Tiger. But anyway, yeah, this will be the Colts, and I'm going Colts big.
All right, Justin, do you echo that sentiment?
Yeah, give me the Colts here. I mean, this is going to be one of the easiest games of the week to pick here. Give me Colts.
All right, nobody's believing in the Bengals. All right, Casey.
Didn't we used to have a Bengals fan in there?
Lamar, where were you at, Lamar?
We still do, but ever since the Bengals kind of fell off, he kind of fell off
Also.
Wait. When were they on?
They always choke in the playoffs. They can't even win playoff games either. Back when they did the playoffs.
Yeah, no. We needed an easy game, and the NFL was like, "Here you go, you can have the Bungles,
the Pringles."
So
the Pringles.
Yeah. How do you get the Pringles?
No, that's genius.
You're right.
I mean, Burrow, once you get pop, it just don't stop.
and they're orange also. Their uniforms are orange and Pringles are orange.
This is the same guy who went the Rams.
I mean, Pringle is better than the Ram thing.
If you say so. Moving forward to a game I'd like to call a lose-lose. The Browns versus the Steelers. I mean, who do I cheer for? Like, you guys are both playing well, so that's just great.
This is where you pick the referees.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I've got to pick the tie this time. Let's see. This is gonna be a good one because I mean, this is gonna really show who the Browns are. I think because it's not that I think the Steelers are this great all-world team or anything, but I think it's just like I think the Steelers defense at least is good. At least is very good. So it's gonna really show how good the Browns are offensively. And I want to see if they can stop Big Ben and Claypool, and Juju, and you got to add some new person. I swear the Steelers always got a new person to add to the fold. Goodness, a new receiver. So Juju's gone after this year. You know that, right? If Claypool goes off, Juju's gone after this year. It's gonna happen. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Browns. I think the Browns benefit me more to win this game than the Steelers do. I mean, can you ever really cheer for the Steelers? No, ever. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Browns. Let's go back to Casey.
Even though they beat us last week, I still feel like they might have deflated the balls or something like that. There was something going on.
He likes that scheme
Um,
things.
I do like the scheme of things of the Browns that have the orange helmets. So we're going with the Browns. And yes, Browns fans, I know why they're called the Browns, but still, I'm going to point it out every time. Every time.
Justin.
This is actually a hard game here. I mean,
that's what she said.
Thank you, Michael Scott.
Get your head out the window. Okay. Yeah, this could be a really good game right here. I mean, both teams seem really for real. I mean, you got a really good defense in the Steelers. I don't. Give me the Steelers this week. I need to see. Yeah. Give me the Steelers here. I'm sorry, Adam. I'm sorry to break your heart, but I'm going with the Steelers here.
And no offense taken, because I mean, as I've stated before, again, the last time the Browns beat the Steelers at Pittsburgh was 2003.
It's about to be 2020.
And again,
I'm going to be surprised if the Browns do it because they've been looking great. I mean, but this week 6 is a really good week for football. I mean, we got a lot of great games on this week, and this is one of them right here. I think this is going to be a really tight game. This game could go either way, like to last possession or something. And it's going to be good to watch. I'm going to really enjoy this, but you can go get at them.
No, but and the thing is, this is the first time since maybe 2002 that the quote unquote rivalry in a Brown Steelers game actually is going to mean something, because again, this is for right now. Yes, this is for the division. Last week against the Colts, that was a game of significance because these are two teams that could, knock on wood, this could come down for that 7th seed in the playoffs. Now again, Colts could still get on a run and still win the division. That, because to me it's still wide open. And I know the Titans look good tonight, but who knows what next week will bring if they have to shut down their facility again. But anyway. But this game, it's going to be again another thing of strength on strength. But this is going to be as well as the Browns' offensive line has played, and it's going to be devastating if Wyatt Teller cannot play this game. He left the game Sunday with a strained calf, and he's listed as week to week. And Baker got banged up in the game. Like I said, that hit from Houston. So I know he's not 100%. But as he said afterwards, Mama didn't raise no wuss. So he's going to be striving.
Because he didn't want that fine.
Ding, ding, ding. But this is going to be their biggest test, to date, and this is the biggest game of the year so far. The main the absolute paramount thing they have to do is that the D line, as well as they're playing, they have to disrupt, and they have to get into Big Ben's head. I'm a little concerned with all the injuries that they had this week. Again, aside from that, Baker not having Chubb, Kareem is not 100%. I mean, like, he's got to get out, whatever, but his groin injury is not subsiding any. So, but you still have, again, you got him, Dearness Johnson, and Dontrell Hilliard. So they at least have that revolving door. This has got to be a big game for the tight ends, particularly Hooper, because like they're going to have all that attention to Jarvis and Odell. So this really needs to open things up in the middle of the field, whatever. And he does, and that's the thing. Baker doesn't have to sling it all the way down. I hope it happens, of course, but again, just play smart, play clean. Because despite not having any fans there, whatever, though, again, there is something about Heinz Field that has tortured the Browns since they've been back in the league.
Because it's so annoying.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the other thing we're not going to see. We're not going to see the little yellow toilet paper things, being waved around. Yeah, but again, and obviously the perception of the game, Nance and Romo is on the call, so that's going to be a lot of fun. But
it's at 4?
No, it's on at 1. I'm pretty sure
it is. Okay, wow.
Yeah, and that's because I was going to say usually they do the quote unquote game of the weeks from the earlier schedules, not the Sunday night game. But yeah, I was stunned by that. But of what's at stake here, this is major. But anyway, and again, this is going to be more of my fandom, because I'm trying to will it into existence. Whatever, I'm going to pick the Browns. If by some reason Ben gets hurt from a hit from Miles, you're not going to see any fly swatting in this juncture, unless it's Mason Rudolph. Again, and I can go on a tirade on that, and Casey and DJ, like I'll give you my perception on that night, another time, of course, whatever that, because I want to see what your guys' thoughts were that night. But anyway,
yeah,
but Browns in a close one, and this is going to be a even bigger dog fight than it was last week. So yeah, Browns all the way.
All righty, moving into the Ravens-Eagles game. Which I think will be a pretty interesting one as well with the Eagles, and whatever Eagles team shows up, you never really know. But let's start with our resident Eagles fan.
The resident Eagles fan.
Sometimes.
The man from Philadelphia.
The man from Pennsylvania that hates Pennsylvania.
You Philly when you live in Philly. Come on, you call the Bills William. You can't be shocked by this.
I'm shocked that you called me an Eagles fan.
It hurt, didn't it?
What?
It hurt, didn't it?
Bruh, I haven't been, and this is gonna show some age here. I haven't been an Eagles fan since Randall Cunningham. Get out of here!
You're old. You're an old man.
I am. Randall Cunningham, Reggie White. Oh man, those were the days. And then we got McNabb, and he kept getting hurt. Anyway, what was this? Oh, the Ravens. The Ravens.
You almost forgot the game.
I've seen how the Eagles have been playing this season. It's the Ravens.
All right, Justin.
Yeah, let's make this 2 in a row. Let's make it the Ravens here. I mean, the Eagles have no choice. I mean, it depends on what Eagles team we get. Like, do we get that team that just wants to tie? Do we get that team that just wants to lose, give up, or do we actually get the team that actually wants to play and actually win? Which they're not going to beat the Ravens. They have no chance in hell, as Vince McMahon would say.
All right,
I got a buddy in on the pick here. Yeah, let's make it a trifecta. Now, part of me, I really want to believe that like the Eagles are actually going to have a little bit of a give a damn this game because of how they played last week. But is this at Philly or is this at Baltimore?
I think it's at Philly.
Yeah, at Philly.
Okay, so I mean, again, stranger things have happened, but yeah, I'll go with the Ravens here. I don't. This is not going to be a Bengal blowout, whatever though. Like I think it will be obviously a true convincing win for Baltimore.
And hopefully we actually look like a clean team for once. Since for some reason we're winning the games, but not looking the best in the wins.
Yeah, a win's a win, though.
A win is a win. I mean, I'll take an ugly win over a pretty loss, as they say.
Wait, I hope Jerome Boger refs the game again so Lamar can knock him down.
I was like, what is he like? As a referee, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to move, or are you supposed to stay there and let the guy go around you? Because
if you move, you better know if you move.
But in terms of the Ravens-Eagles game, I think it'll be good. I do want Gus to be the lead horse for us, the lead back. I think he's a stud. He's been a stud since Lamar came into the league, and they came into the league together. They just have, I don't know, they just have an interesting chemistry, even though technically, like, how Gus plays has has not a lot to do with how Lamar with Lamar's ability to throw the ball or run the ball at all. Sometimes the threat of Lamar's run can help out Gus. But, I mean, I want them to continue to just wear teams down with the running game and then allow Lamar to pass from there. Because for some reason, Baltimore comes out in all of these little empty sets and like all of these sets with no running back. And I'm like, you're the best running football team in the league. If you don't give the threat of run every single play, I freaking swear. So I need them to give the threat of run every single play, even if they're not going to run. They should be play action real. They should use play action a whole lot, I feel like. And I think this should be a convincing win, and I hope it is a convincing win. And now that the offense is pretty good, I always hope that it's a convincing win. So I'm going with the Ravens, of course, on this one. Moving into the Broncos and the Patriots game. For me, I'm gonna go with the Patriots, and I'm gonna assume that Cam is back. I think even if Cam isn't back, the Patriots still should win this game because I don't think Drew Lock will be back this week, and I think the Broncos are about as good as Drew Lock will take them behind his young arm. So Patriots on this one. Casey.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Patriots. I just feel like the Broncos are always the team that I don't know if I can trust. Like, and it doesn't even matter who's playing, who's starting. I always just feel like I can't trust them. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Patriots.
Justin?
Yeah, give me the Patriots here. I mean, there's nothing really else to be said.
And Adam.
Patriots all the way, sir.
Alrighty, and we move on to the Texans and the Titans. This was a tough one. I think and not just using recency bias and because the Titans destroyed the Bills tonight, but I think that is an impressive win for the Titans. But I feel like the Titans are an interesting team, and I feel like Baltimore can take a little bit of a note from the Titans because it's rare that I see the Titans not come out and show the threat of run because they have one of the best backs in the league, if not the best back in the league. So
King Henry.
exactly, running over Josh Norman with one arm. I hope everybody got to see that because if you didn't, I'll send it in the chat and we all can ooh and ah at the same time. But I'm gonna go with the Titans. I just think they're just a really good team. They're sound. Like the Titans are the type of team that they're not gonna get away from what they do, and that's why they're much better than I think anybody's gonna ever give them credit for, including me. So I think the Titans are just they know what their identity is. Ryan Tannehill knows what he needs to do, and Ryan Tannehill is gonna do what he needs to do. And it's interesting because like it kind of shows you uh, how powerful a team can be if your freaking organization actually believes in you. Like if your organization actually puts forth the effort, because everybody was like writing Ryan Tannehill off, and Tennessee knew exactly what they were getting when they got him, and they were uncertain about Marcus Mariota at that time. So I think that's big on them, and I think that's really reinvigorated their entire franchise. So I'm going with the Titans. Casey, Titans or Texans?
So I got to pick outside my division, then around my division, slightly to the left of my division.
Don't forget about betwixt.
Betwixt my division, especially betwixt my division. And, I'm gonna go with
the refs, right?
I'm gonna go with the Tennessee Ronas. Because that's pretty much what they are right now.
You know what? I think we just need to call tonight that we're not going to get any better than that.
Oh goodness. Let's go to Adam.
Yeah, Titans as well. And you just said it, like they know their identity. They're not going to ask Tannehill to do too much. Whatever he's going to have his 17 throws, and they're all going to be effective. And the other thing too is Tannehill, didn't necessarily springboard his career. Obviously, started with Miami, but this is a little bit of a sidebar. This is showing like how he is now. This is showing that what a joke Adam Gase is in terms of coaching, because he gets away from Gase and now he finds a better home and with better coaching, and look at him now. I mean, it's all predicated
is it
behind
Adam
Derrick Henry.
Gates? He's in New York.
Jets.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, with the greatest introductory press conference ever.
Oh man.
Taco, the swirling taco, but yeah, and Texans, good for them getting off the schneid last week, but it was against Jacksonville. But I mean, at least they're not going to have the the butt kiss for the year, whatever. But yeah, this is going to be Titans for me.
All right, Justin.
Yeah, the Titans are gonna win here. I mean, it is spooky season, so the Boogeymans are gonna win here because I mean this team looks scary. This team looks scary. They are. What'd you call them? What'd you call them, Casey? The Titan Ronas. What'd you call them?
They are the Tennessee Ronas.
The Tennessee Ronas. I mean, and that's pretty scary with everything that's going on right now. So they're the Boogeymans.
I mean, especially if they practice at that high school, the Texans are screwed.
Yeah.
The Washington football team and the New York football Giants. I don't know if we can officially call them that anymore since we have a Washington football team now. I feel like it might be copyright issues or something. I'm going to say that the Giants are going to get their first win this week. Maybe. Possibly. I mean, neither one of these teams are good. So, to Adam. I would mouthful.
Yeah, no, that's right. I can curve it. But is is Alex Smith going to start this game?
I think so.
I'm not sure, but I can tell you who's not going to start: Dwayne Haskins.
It
Yeah,
should be
and
Alex Smith.
yeah, and probably and Kyle Allen got concussed, and I haven't heard anything on that, and I don't even know who the next in line is in terms of their practice squad. But yeah, just for a goof, because this is I want to implement the Earl Hebner rule, and I want to go for the zebra stripes in this game because this is not this should have like the announcing team, whatever that like the Browns and Colts did this past Sunday. That they were
So it says
terrible.
Kyle Allen is still the starter if healthy.
So
But
yeah,
what's interesting is he was clear during that game and they didn't put him back in.
and they let Alex Smith get sacked 6 times. Okay.
And
Good.
they also let Aaron Donald jump on Alex Smith's back. What?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, get him out of there because yeah, great story coming back from a broken leg, and now he's going to be paralyzed.
Did you hear Aaron Donald say that his leg was strong on the bench?
Sir, you are terrible. The indignation, the disrespect of Alex Smith. Mine, Stephen A. But God, yeah, I'll throw him a bone. The G-men.
All right. Justin.
You know what? Can I just flip a coin here, please?
If you want. I mean, there's always room for coin flipping.
There is, or there's room for ties, or there's room for referees to win here. I mean, the referees always win; they never lose. You can't go wrong with that. You know what? Give me the Washington football team. The Washington team that plays football. Give me them. Yeah.
All right. Casey, it's on you.
I don't know that referees always win. I don't know if y'all seen the clip of the I believe it was an NXT referee that got his leg broke. But he finished the match. He did.
I'd love to be a referee, to be honest, taking bumps in the ring.
No.
You say that to you a referee in the ring.
Dude, it's funny sometimes. They're the most dramatic.
It's anyway. So let me tell you, it's gonna be the Washington football team. I have spoken.
All right.
I testify.
The Dan Quinn.
He pulled the Mandalorian. God damn
it. The Dan Quinless Falcons face off against the Vikings. I'm gonna go with the Vikings, and I'm gonna kick it to Adam.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Vikings too. They played Seattle very well. They should have beat Seattle. Let's be honest. They're starting to get their legs underneath them offensively. The defense, stepped up this past Sunday, minus that 2 minutes when Seattle scored 21 points. But Harrison Smith had a good game. I don't know what anybody's thoughts were, backtrack a little bit. I don't know what anybody's thoughts were on Mike Zimmer not kicking the field goal on that 4th and 1 and trying to go for it. I thought that was the right call. Us observing, we would probably, most people would say, like, why would you give Russ the ball back? And I'm like, it's down at like the 4. But I don't know. Just like to me, you just make a stand there. But anyway, no, I think the Vikings are, they're not fully, back on track per se. But I do think that they're Kirk Cousins is starting to get a little bit into a rhythm, and I mean the Falcons are the Falcons are just a lost cause, and it sucks. Man, they've got Gurley, they've got Ridley, they've got Julio. They picked up Hayden Hurst from the Ravens, so you would think they at least would make. And they did for a few weeks. Would make a game. Could have snuck out a game here and there. They should have at least 2 wins. The Dallas game and the Bears game. And they had those, and then but they made the proper executive decision of getting Quinn out of there. But maybe having him out of there, maybe it gives them a spark, whatever though. But I still don't think it'll be enough. Whatever. Yes, I'm gonna go the Vikings.
All righty. Let's kick it to Casey.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Vikings. I think, first of all, last week that at the end of the game that was complete BS. You know, I don't know. I think they were robbed of an opportunity that they could have come back. I really do. But and I think partially, you know, they should take that and come in angry and play angry, because they should have been able to come back and at least have one more play last week, and it didn't happen. But either way, they're playing the Falcons, and even if the Falcons have a lead, they're just going to blow it, so it's fine.
Justin.
Yeah, give me the Vikings here.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Lions, Jaguars.
Oh, jeepers.
Oh, anybody got a literal coin we can flip for this one?
Hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna come right here.
I mean, oh my goodness.
Got me a coin.
All right.
Okay, okay, tails. What are we doing? Tails for the Jaguars.
Heads Jaguars. Heads is the Lions.
There we go. Ready?
It's gonna be the Lions.
We got tails.
So it's the Jaguars. I'm not going with the Jaguars. I'm going with the Lions. and not like convincingly. Like, I'm just going with the Lions, and you know, they might win. They might just tie. You know, this might be another one of those tie games. Let's go back to Justin.
You know what? Since I landed on tails, I'm going to go with the Jaguars here. They're going to win. I mean, but this is going to be a bad game. Hopefully this ain't going to be on TV. You know, I'm not. I mean, it's going to be on TV, but hopefully it's not in my area because I ain't going to watch it.
Was this included in the good week you talked about earlier? Or
no, this game is not in the good week. We got some more games that come up here.
Casey.
I'm gonna go with the Big Cats. So yep.
The Big Cat. They're both cats.
Gonna go with the Big Cat.
So he's going with the Big Cat Rescue and Carol Baskin?
Yeah, I'm going with Carol Baskin.
Can't convince me that it didn't happen.
Yeah, this game is not happening. This game ain't happening. Can't convince me to listen.
Exactly. Can't convince me that this game will happen. Like this is in running along with the Washington and Giants game of worst game of the week. Ah, God. I want to pick the Man Bear Pigs, but they're not playing. That would be a far better suitable option here. Like, I believe that this is going to belong to the Man Bear Pigs. But like Lions, sure. The Detroit Carol Baskins.
All right. Moving on to the Panthers and the Bears. Since I think the Bears are still frauds, I'm going with the Panthers on this one. Let's go back to Casey.
I'm gonna go with the Panthers.
Justin.
The Bears, they got lucky last Thursday. They really did. I don't know how they won that game. I mean, Brady, he didn't know it was fourth down. I mean, come on, Brady. How did you not know? Like, I was scrolling through Twitter last week, and I saw they were comparing that to when LeBron James and J.R. Smith, how
or Markieff Morris for this year. What?
Oh, yeah. That's funny. Or like how J.R. Smith didn't know how much time was on the clock, and Tom Brady didn't know it was fourth down. Oh, man, dude. Man, oh, man. But no, I'm going to go with the Panthers here, because I do agree with DJ that this Bears team, they are posers. They aren't for real. Like, even though they look for real, they're not. Nah, they're not really.
Teflon. Adam.
Well, if the outside chance that the Bears possibly get Le'Veon Bell this week, I give them a chance. But, who the hell is this Mike Davis for the Panthers? Who played out of his mind?
He's played out of his mind since Christian McCaffrey went out. And I'm going to be real sad when Christian McCaffrey comes back because bye-bye Mike Davis.
but yeah, and Teddy is playing well. Matt Rule has got those guys that they've had him buying into his system. I thought this was going to be maybe not a full-fledged tank, but as Mike Florio put this week, that they're proving that you can rebuild but still live in the house. It's not a full-fledged we're going to go 1-15, 2-14. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Panthers here.
It's not a full-fledged whatever the Jets are doing.
Just in the season.
So everybody picked that one, right?
Yep.
All right, just making sure. The Jets and the Dolphins. Speaking of the Jets, the Dolphins. The Jets have no chance. No chance. Okay. Adam.
I think just to rub this in more on the Jets, whatever though, wouldn't it be great to see Tua start this game and just carve up the Jets even more, whatever though? Again, this could be, this could be his preseason game, because that's more or less what this is, because the Jets are, just absolutely terrible, and I assume Flacco is still going to be playing, and obviously having him in didn't make a difference. So, but yeah, Dolphins.
All right, Justin.
Yeah, give me the Dolphins here. I mean, they're just gonna. I think this could be bad. This could maybe even be worse than that 49ers game, in my opinion. Yeah, that'd be that'd be awesome if the Dolphins got Le'Veon Bell, but they wouldn't pick him up because who's their running back right now? What's
right?
Gaskin? He's been playing pretty good. I like what Gaskin's been doing. Yeah, but give me the Dolphins here. And they're gonna win this division. They're gonna come back and win this division.
That's a little much, but Casey.
Nah, I mean, I like the hope.
I like what he just said.
What?
And if you're not down with that, I got 5 words for you. The Finns get the wins.
You forgot a period.
Period.
That's not a word.
That's a word.
I'm just saying you forgot your punctuation at the end of your sentence.
Period.
Don't come at me with punctuation. Your sign can't even stay on the
Exclamation
ball.
point.
All right. The Packers versus the Buccaneers. It'll probably be America's game of the week, which I haven't heard them actually say that this year, which is weird. I don't know, maybe I've just been missing it, or they stopped that marketing ploy or whatever.
You've been missing it.
I've been missing it. Okay, I mean it's possible. I just.
I mean, I've been seeing it like advertised on Fox a lot. America, like when they always say, "This is America's game of the week." You know, like
I just haven't, for some reason, haven't seen it this year, but maybe I've just been overlooking it. Packers
The
versus
Titans,
Buccaneers.
America's COVID of the week.
Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers. I think that the Buccaneers are gonna upset the Packers this week, and maybe bring them down to earth a little bit. So I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers playing at home. Adam.
See, I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna go with the Packers just because Aaron Rodgers has been playing with a purpose this year after getting no help in the draft. And their defense is sneaky good under Mike Pettin. So, and again, and I think it'll be close, but I'm gonna go with, because, and not to mention, I think Aaron's got the hot hand, and I think that I would say, could be maybe next to Russ in front runner for MVP. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Go Pack Go.
All right, back to Casey.
I still got to go with Tampa Bay. I just got to go with it. I gotta.
Going with Tampa Tom.
Tampa Tom. You got to go with Tampa Tom because Tampa Tom knows how to cheat. I mean, to win games. Okay, he's never ever cheated ever. I don't know why you would say that, but Tampa Tom is gonna. And that's how you have to say his name, Tampa Tom.
No, you have to get it right. It's also Dementia Tom.
But sometimes when you've been in the league for so many years, you get into listen. He's still getting over the fact that they don't cheat to win. Okay, he gets confused.
Where'd you get the Eastern accent at?
It's all the fans from Boston that now
that Boston. You from Boston?
It's now Tampa Tom.
I can't look at him anymore.
This is gonna be a really good game. Like, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is one of the good games of the week here. It's gonna be a really close game. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Adam here and say that the Packers win. Go Pack, go!
Where you going?
We're going Pack to go to Green Bay. Yeah,
Oh.
or no, we're gonna go Tampa Bay. We're gonna go Tampa Bay and watch this game.
Which one are you going with?
We're going no. But I'm going with the Go Pack, go. And Tampa Bay.
I'm so confused.
Go Pack, go.
He don't even know who he picking. Casey.
The Packers.
Go
The Chiefs.
Sports.
I'm going with the Chiefs. The Cheeseheads.
He's going with chicken. Rams versus 49ers. I'm going with the Rams because it looks like the 49ers may not be as good as we thought they were. Maybe that thing I said about Nick Bosa when the Niners actually played a good game the next week and they made me look bad. Maybe I was right about that defense because they did give up 41 points
against the Dolphins.
The 42?
42 points.
I think it was 40. I was going to say it was 42 or 43. Doesn't matter.
40 freaking points for the freaking Dolphins.
DJ, you froze.
He's
40
back.
points to the Dolphins. So with that being said, I'm going with the Rams. Adam.
Ram it. This could be a game where
I'm
Donald.
going with the Rams. Adam.
I have no idea what's going on here. Man,
I
bear
just got
pig.
confused there.
I'm going Rams as well. This could be a game that Donald feasts on whoever's back there, whether it's Jimmy G, CJ Beathard, whomever. But yeah,
test out them legs. He got to test out them legs.
That's true. Yeah. So Rams.
Justin.
I mean, I'd like to go with the 49ers, but like DJ said, we aren't as good as we thought they were. So, the Rammy Hammies win here.
The what?
I don't know.
It just Casey, if you're there.
Justin, I got a suggestion. When you think of something new, just don't. Just don't.
Just don't think at all.
Just don't let it out. Just keep it in your head, because that's where it sounds good. It sounds good in your head. When it comes out, no.
I mean, the Pringle thing is a lot better than Rammy Hammy.
No, it's not.
Wait, what did you call the Rams?
Rammy Hammy.
He used to say the Rams.
I don't know what's worse, Casey, but
I think Pringles are better.
I'm gonna go with the Rams. Even oh my
The Hammy Rammies.
god, the Rammy Hammies.
Hold on. Say Rammy Hammies again.
I hope the Rammies don't pull a hammy.
Yeah, everybody.
the last game, which is the second month, well, the actual Monday Night Football game.
It doesn't matter. Everybody has turned their show off already.
After Rammy Hammy, that did it. The Cowboys. The Cowboys and the Cardinals. I'm going with the Cardinals. I have no other words. 0. Justin.
What game is this?
The Cardinals and the Cowboys.
Give me the Cards. The Cards are gonna win here.
Casey.
So wait, is Dak starting?
Hold on, let me.
Wow.
Oh man.
Wow.
Too soon.
Wow. I heard people say
hopefully
about
it's just a cramp. Hopefully it's just a cramp.
It's fine. He just walked it off. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals.
All right. Adam.
Cardinals.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel. All right. Well, I think that'll do it
if I'm dead.
for the predictions for this week. Week 6. We'll be back for week 7. And some other videos coming up this week as well.
We might be back for week 7. I don't know.
We might not make it. But nonetheless, once again, if you are on anywhere listening to us, make sure you go to the Facebook page and give us a like so you can watch the videos live in case you want to see it faster, quicker, and in a hurry. and see the craziness that is Justin and the Hammy Rammies, Casey and the Flippity Dippities, Adam and his antics. And of course, for me, we'll see you guys on the next video or podcast, however you may be watching / listening. See you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.